Segment two. Segment to the moon. We take ourselves back to the beautiful land of South Korea. Oh, Squid Games. You giveth and you taketh away. Brother, brother, brother. What did you think? Season two. What did you think? I gotta hear it, man. What I mean, there's nothing. I can't spoil anything now. You've seen it all.
Huh. Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
I
okay,
get it. I
okay.
get it.
You get it.
I get the critiques. I
Okay.
get why people feel the way that they feel.
About the second
Me,
season.
me personally, I liked it a
Okay.
lot. I would have rather waited. Well, I know, I know that's not how it really worked, but I would have rather them put it all out than to stop it where they stopped it. Because
Ah.
it was really, it really kills the momentum for me
Mm-hmm.
with the way that they ended it. Like we sat there and we're just like, no, no, that can't be the. And we were both looking at each other like, there's no way this is over like this. And that's when I remember what you said about them recording too much.
Mm-hmm.
So when I told my wife that, she was, oh, okay. And then like I could just see it in her face, like,
Not good
well, that
enough.
fucking sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then it said something. I think the rest was coming out like in a few months. It's just like, dude, I'm excited to watch this shit right now. Like I remember the story now. I know the characters now. I
It's
may not remember
fresh.
that shit then. Yeah. So I don't know. I was a little disappointed in that. If they weren't gonna have that much time, they definitely could have paced it a little bit better. They could have made it a little bit faster if they needed to get the story out. Um, and the only gripe I have so far, and this is why I kind of want to hold my criticism, and this is why it sucks that it didn't end the way that it should have, is they did a couple of repeats that I don't. I they could have done something different, but instead they kind of used somewhat of the same archetype.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really dope that number one was
But the front
the
man.
guy. That was awesome. That was really fucking cool.
What a
But
twist.
what annoys me is that I was starting to pick up on. It seemed like he was starting to like realize who number one was. Like when he called him a hero, he kind of looked at him like,
Yeah.
wait, that shit sounds familiar. You know what I mean? But like they didn't really play on it too much. That's why I thought it was gonna unveil. But when it unveiled the way that it did, I'm like, oh, he didn't pick up on any of that. Like, I don't know. The one that I really disliked out of all of them, if I did dislike something, was the crazy lady.
Oh, the
I
shaman.
didn't. I did not like the crazy lady from the first part until I fell in love with her. And I felt like this, and it felt like they were trying to do the same thing here. She had the same man. She almost looked like the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and she had her focus was a little different. The first girl was a whore, and the other one, or it's psycho and a little slutty. And this one is like God fearing type of weird voodoo shit, which is
Right.
like I'm okay with it. I saw that like it was just too close of an archetype for me. But
Okay.
other than that, I fucking enjoyed it. We were popping a lot, especially when number one went up and made the vote, and then they fucking turned and we saw who it was. Oh, we lost our shit, dude. We were like, no fucking way, dude.
What a
It
fucking
was good.
twist.
It's such they have a lot of really fucking good moments, man. And the trans chick had me dying when they were doing the relay,
Oh yeah.
and like she was talking all sweet, and then something fucking happened, and she like her nuts dropped. She put her deep voice on and started getting them to fucking like
When
get it
the it
together.
was when the shaman, the crazy lady was struggling with the top.
Yeah,
And then she just started smacking her because she was going, the gods have forbade us. The gods have left us. Psh, throw the fucking tops.
dude, her
Oh,
voice got mad deep. I
yeah.
thought that shit was
It
crazy.
went from
But the way
feminine to bitch toss that.
the trans character, bro, she was gangster, man. I like that shit. She was really good the way she like kind of like took charge and was fucking military background. And now
Sergeant,
you
yeah.
think of it, most of those people in that group were all military except for 456.
Yeah, they were a little bit more trained. There was the Marine guy. His own friend was a former Marine. I'm
Oh,
still questioning the other guys, Marine and
that's what I was gonna
yeah,
ask you. And my wife brought up a good point because when he started acting like a bitch and being scared to shoot,
yeah,
we were like, oh, well, did he never go? Like, was he just saying that? But then at one point, when he went to grab the ammo and got like terrified, like he realized he's in a safe spot and he didn't want to go back.
yeah,
My wife was like, oh, I think it's PTSD.
yeah,
I think he's got PTSD. Not that he hasn't gone. He's
yeah.
just fucking like, you know what I mean? He's terrified. So, what did you think about it? Do you think that guy was just kind of like a sham, or was he just terrified?
One of the best theories that I heard online, because I think I was at first I was thinking along the same lines as you, because before he went back for the ammo, even when they were in the hallway shooting,
He was
the camera
aimlessly
kept
shooting.
focusing on his panic. Like he kept,
Yep.
even when he was firing the gun, he couldn't look at it. He was just shooting bullets just blindly because it was just too much for him. He was overwhelmed. So I think my original thought was the same thing as yours. Like maybe he just saw too much shit and it's bringing him back and it's just too much for him. But someone else had a very cool theory online, because again, remember I told you the first time we discussed Squid Games, this is a very Korean based show. They keep it to the culture of Korean culture. Like, despite the fact that it's a worldwide phenomenon, they kept it close. And in Korean culture, well, a lot of Asian culture, but specifically here we're dealing with South Korean soldiers and military and the way they carry themselves. You saw when they first when the friend and him first met and they kind of bonded over the whole military thing, like how happy they were, like what a sign of like pride, you know. It's like, oh, a Marine can do anything, you know, and then they were just everything throughout the basis. Once they found out about each other and their background, that was the basis of their whole relationship throughout the whole show. And the reason for that is because they take great pride in their service. So
Oh yeah.
one of the theories that I heard, and I think I side more with that, is that the reason why we kept getting the indication that his tattoo was either fake or unearned or not real is because I'm thinking he was one of those guys that was, remember he told the story, he was raised with a bunch of sisters. He was very effeminate when he was growing up. His dad wanted to butch him up, make him more manly, and
He
sent
thought he
him.
was gay.
And he thought that's the way he was leaning, either gay or just girly, right? Let me send him somewhere where it'll toughen him up. But by the
Yeah.
time he sent them, it's too little, too late. He's not built for that. So he gets sent over there, and the theory that I read is I don't think he ever did anything good over there, and he was discharged immediately because they're like,
Yeah.
this guy's a pussy. He can't be in this military. And with the exception of being shot, the next worst thing is being dishonorably discharged. I have a feeling he did that before with the ammo and the ditching and please just put me in a safe spot. I don't want to be here. I think in
Yeah.
season 3 we'll learn more about what that was all about, but I think there's more to it than just PTSD. I think there's a lot more cowardice in that than we know.
Like family shame, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like because you know, he had the tattoo. Now whether that's like a fake tattoo or he got the tattoo on his own to look like one so he can still feel like he did something is different. But the way that he carried himself in that firefight, it leads you to believe that there was. Having PTSD means that you were trained, you did everything you were supposed to do, and then you went to war and you saw some shit and it fucked with you. He did not carry himself like a person who knew how to work a firearm, where to shoot, how to shoot. He was
You're
just
saying it's less PTSD and more just straight raw
yeah.
fear. It's like
I think
scared.
it's more. It was more fear, more cowardice than it was PTSD.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't
you.
think with the
I can
bullets
see
going
that.
off, it's a firefight. If you're not in control of your senses in a firefight, it's a terrible place to fucking be. Like it's the opposite of what the trans girl did, right? She did not want to be a part of anything like that. But when push come to shove, when it was time to get the job done, she
She
stepped
was a
up.
sergeant.
She went back to her training. She's shooting out the cameras. She knew everything she was supposed to do. Everybody
I
was
mean,
lined up a
her
certain
character
way.
was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Dude.
she and the funny thing is I don't know if anybody else knows this. They couldn't find a trans actor or an individual who is legitimately trans because of the culture in Korea. It's very frowned upon over there. You can get into a lot of trouble for behaving that way, to being that way. So they had a very hard time trying to convince people who were legitimately trans to be in it. So they did hire a straight male actor, but he was under the direction of learn what that life is like. And the way that they scripted this character, they didn't really do the whole overtly, you know how they do gays very flamboyantly. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't like this was a dude turned female, and because they turned female, all of a sudden now they want to sucky. He's like, oh, look at me. Like they were. She was just who she was. Period. That's it. She was just the
Yeah,
person.
the person did a very good job at portraying a side of that culture that gets lost constantly, and that's just humans trying to fucking just exist
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
want to live that way because that's the way that they
That's
live, and that's fine. But they want to go to the bar, get a beer, go home, and that's it.
yeah.
They're not trying to fuck everybody. They're not trying to teach you about their cult. They just want to be a person and go home. And they were talking about finding that culture. Where was it? Taiwan? No. Where was the
No,
fucking?
she said that if
She
she
wanted to go
won, she
somewhere.
wanted to go to Thailand
Thailand. Yeah, yes,
because
yes, yes.
for
And then we're talking
obvious.
about the community out
Yeah,
there, and it's
for
more welcoming, and
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It really is.
No, it really is.
ain't,
My wife
ain't,
starts laughing. She goes, "Oh yeah, that's the perfect place to
that's the
fucking go."
perfect place to be. Exactly. You're not going to get any fucking
Yeah, yeah,
judgment
you'll fit
bullshit over
right the
there.
fuck in over
Yeah,
there.
you're not going to get any judgmentalize on you over there. That is for sure. So
Yep.
yeah, let me ask you this: what did you think about the games?
So the red light, green light in the beginning, I don't know. I sat with that a little bit. I thought at first, like, man, they should have did something different. But I
Well,
thought it was pretty
hold
cool the
on.
way that they did it.
My wife said the same thing, right? But if you can stick with me on this, this is what I told her. You're starting off with 456 people. The element of surprise is what's going to get a lot of people eliminated in the first round. That's like the perfect first game. If you really think about it, like just to narrow the herd down to a manageable amount of people. And not for nothing, yes, it was the same game. I loved the fucking change in mannerism. In the sense of the first time we saw red light, green light, we as an audience were surprised that they were getting shot and killed. We jumped the first time, like, oh shit. You know? So even Gihung and Sangwoo and all those guys from the first season, their hearts are beating like, holy shit, people are actually dying. This is weird. In the second season, it would not have been logical for anyone who's been there before to just sit there and be like, well, I hope for the best. So when he went to the front and just started screaming, and he was like, "Hold!" Don't like he
That
was
shit was
shouting.
fine.
That shit gave me goosebumps.
It was good. It was really good.
Then
It was
I
really
thought.
good.
Then I thought to myself, and maybe let me know what you thought after red light, green light. And I think this is another reason why red light, green light was so perfect because red light, green light was the way that the first season started. It gives you, the viewer, the impression, oh shit, he's gonna kill this because he's already been through all these games before. All he needs to do is just give people the fucking heads up. And he thought the same thing. I know what's next. We played the cookie game, I forgot Dongong or something like that. It was the cookie game and all that stuff. He was preparing people, pick triangle. This is gonna be, and then they walked in and saw the course. It's completely different, and he responded, I'm sorry, they changed it. Like that to me, not only did it change his demeanor in the show, it changed my demeanor as a viewer because I thought to myself, at first I was like, he's gonna kill this because he knows everything that's coming. Now he doesn't know what's coming. It's all new games. So there was like a sense of, oh my god, I think he's in trouble because he's got to survive these games now. He's back in this shit.
Yeah, but it's even worse because it's like, here's the thing. Like, that's why I said in the beginning, it's like I thought of something like, oh, we're going to get some of the similar games. That's whatever, right? But in hindsight, like, even my wife kind of pointed it out a little bit. She goes, this is like a game inside of a game. This is a mind fuck.
Yeah.
This is what this is. Like, the whole reason why they ran red light, green light, because he knew he was going to try to save people.
Right.
So what he did was, no. Let me rewind, because my favorite part about this whole thing is the way they ran this game. First of all, shout out to Gen Z, because that's exactly what it felt like when they were all getting the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were laughing. It's like, yo, the last one, people just kind of like, oh, okay, that's the rules, whatever. This one, they're like, why this? Why that? Well, that's dumb. Like, why don't we do this? And that's stupid. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, this
Can
is
I have my
fucking
phone? I have to check my stocks.
Can I have my phone? I gotta check. Yeah. I was like, me and my wife were like, oh, dude, this is fucking totally Gen Z. And you see the square up front, like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Seriously,
Perhaps
I'm
there's
trying
been
to
a
get
misunderstanding. And then he cut him off.
Yeah.
Then he cut him off with the stories, and everybody shut up. He was like, 13 billion won. He's like, I got a story for everybody, so shut the fuck up.
I love the way, like, you can tell he's trying to prove a point. And the way that they structured the game, because he told them, he's like, dude, they're trying to tell him, look, forget about it. Take your winnings. You participated amongst your own free will. Everyone else had the option. Everyone went home, and they came back again. They chose to do this. You can feel guilt-free, take your money, go away. You're fine. I'm telling you, you're overthinking this. No, you guys are thinking, you manipulated the people. Okay, fast forward to this one. Bro, they told them, obviously, aside from the death, but they told them everything. Right. Everything. They let them opt out in between every single round. They even offered a split of the pot. They were the first group of people. The first game, they went home empty-handed, and people died. but this one, actually, if I remember correctly, I think the money went to the dead people, the people who died, to their families. If I remember correctly from the first one. But this one, the people who are still alive get to split the pot. So now you have this constant tug of war of like, yo, okay, we know what this is. We know what's happening. But if we can survive one more night, we all get to go home with money. And it completely changed the game from like, instead of it being, I'm going to kill everyone so I can win all the money, it was like, my team is going to kill your team, like circles and X's, so that we can get the bulk of it because we want to stay and you guys don't deserve it because you want to go home. Like, it completely changed the way it fucking worked. Dude, it was absolutely brilliant.
You just hit the nail right on the head of everything you just described. You just mentioned in passing now the most diabolical part of the whole thing, the patches. Yeah. The patches. Because the patches of an X and an O told the whole story.
Yeah.
Because that's where you land on this. That's your personal choice. That's your belief system. If you were an X, you wanted to go home. You were done with this whole thing. If you're an O, you want to play again. And it became completely, even when people flip-flopped, which was also, in my opinion, masterful. Because the first time you see number one, he hits the O to keep it going. But if you remember, he never hit O again.
Nope.
He kept opting to stay, but he never needed to because the roots had already been sown in.
Yeah.
He already knew, because like you said, this whole season is a chess game between Frontman and Gi-hung.
Yep.
The Frontman's whole ideology is even if you tried to help them, they're not going to take the help.
They're fucking trash, dude.
They're trash people.
I'm going to tell you, you're not listening.
And just everything about this whole goddamn season was just amazing. Everything about it. They gave us a sneak peek at some of the stuff that we'll be seeing. We're going to be getting a whole new red light, green light on the next one with the young girl and a young boy. There's going to be different rules. We're going to see the aftermath of what happened after they tried to revolt against the room upstairs. There's going to be a lot of stuff. We have some survivors still from the revolt. Our trans woman made it back to the room to find the ammunition, but not in time to get back out there. So she got, technically the old lady saved her life because she was about to go 1v8. She was ready. She was like, okay. She had all the ammo too. She was clock locked.
Oh, she was about to pop the fuck off, bro.
She was about to go off. She was about to go 1v8. I don't care. I'm not going. And the old lady stopped.
Can I say? I don't know. You can tell me yours right now. My favorite fucking character in this whole thing is the mom. She's the most fucking gangster character in this whole damn. She gets me going, dude. She is such that lady is acting her fucking ass off. She's doing so good, dude. The son, oh my god, you just feel so bad for her sometimes. Like, you're so fucking, you're the worst son ever.
Yeah, the first time I really felt them was during Mingle, the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
So that's when I really felt
Dude.
bad because I was just like,
That's
I
when you felt them,
no
dude? That
no
was a payout
no
right there.
I know,
That
but
was character building payout right
what I'm
there.
saying. That's when I really felt them. The leading up to that, they did a really good job. I felt of giving you a little bit of each character. It wasn't like before where they kind of like I don't know. I felt
Hyper
like
focus on the main characters.
not just
Well, their group was smaller.
It was
Their
smaller
group was
too. Yeah,
smaller
yeah. It
though.
was a smaller group of people, but they we got a little bit on each person along the way. What I loved about it was that it was enough because by the time it was time for the payout, I was there for all of them. So I was just I
Yeah.
understood. Okay, okay, okay. I'm following along, and I told my wife the sentence that you told me on the show, how the acting is so good on the show that you forget it's dubbed.
Yeah.
And
Every time.
and I told it to her, and she didn't even. This was after she saw 2 full seasons. She goes, "You're right. I can't even really like if." And we played a clip recently. We played they got a blooper reel on YouTube, but the blooper reel is not in dub. It's completely in Korean.
Uh-huh.
So we got to see some of the lines and stuff being delivered in straight Korean, and she's listening to it, and she goes, "Damn, listening to them do it on their own, it's still so powerful." It's just like
Yeah.
there's
It's
still
almost as if like you can remember the scenes and you
yeah,
kind of know what they're saying, even though
yeah.
they're not.
Their
Yeah.
body and mannerisms still fit everything that I remember them saying. So it's just like, oh, all right, cool. And then this. We were trying to figure out where we would land on the second game, the 6-legged race.
Yeah.
So
That one was so good.
so Steph was like, "Oh man, I think I could throw the rock." I was like, "I think I could throw the rock."
Mine's was mine's my that's one of my favorite game scenes is when the guy who we think is gay fucking smoked the dice.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear at one point he flicked one with one finger, picked them all up, and I was like, yo, we both jumped up when we saw that shit. I think I can do that.
Do you
dude.
remember the front man's reaction when he did it? It was holy shit. He was just looking at him like, "What
dude,
the
he's
fuck?"
a fucking dude. That was so good, and they were teasing him and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's a woman's game. Women play that.
Well, he
And
said,
the
"Yeah, I grew
girl's
up with
like,
my
yeah, I never played that
sisters."
shit in my life.
Your homegirl, the old lady, when she messed up that one time, was like, "Pretend that this is like the girl that Dad cheated with or whatever like that." She was like, "You dirty rotten whore," and then she fucking nailed it.
I
was
fucking love
like,
her,
oh,
dude. She's my
shit.
favorite character.
Oh man, yeah. There's one person we haven't talked about. I need your fucking opinion. He's the most talked about guy in the Squid Games, bro. Thanos. Where
Thanos.
Thanos?
He kind of went out a little shitty, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the way he went out either, but he was my fucking spirit animal. You said earlier the old lady was your favorite. Thanos is my boy, son. That motherfucker is cold, baby. I love it. Only Thanos could drug himself and dance through red light, green light. That shit was crazy.
That shit, dude. Thanos is the opposite side of that, but he was truly a Joker. Like
Yeah.
he was truly a real life Joker in there, where he just it's not that he didn't care, but he like was aroused by the fear. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it did something different to him. He reacted differently, and he was scared at first, but then he had to do was pop that high grade Molly, and he was off. He
That's
was
it.
livid, and then on top of that, he ended up getting the friend of his that like wanted to be his friend and shit, and they both started getting high. Oh, that's when they even got fucking crazy.
Oh, and Mingle, when they went diddle and they were going around in a circle with their arms locked. It's like, yeah.
Dude, some of the killing scenes in this shit, I think is even crazier than the first one. Like for instance, like the way Thanos went out to me was kind of like, damn, I can't believe that he got out so quickly, but it wasn't a bad way. But that's what I mean. Like his character was kind of so big. He was the first victim of the knife. So he was a big staple of what happened going forward. Because of him, they all knew that you make money when people die. So that's why the night after they were going to have it, that's when that attack happened.
Right.
So if you really think about it, he didn't go out like a bitch. Like he was a big part of the story. But they were not afraid to like just off people. Like the one like really pretty Korean girl that I thought was was trying to be friends with the weird, sketchy looking dude because he was just scared. The way she fucking died was brutal, man. He jumped on top of her and just was. They didn't like pan away, dude. You just watched him stab the shit out of her right in her fucking neck and bleed out. That shit was wild.
I actually hate the fact that he was the one that killed her. I was expecting her to do a little bit more than what she was doing at that time. But then that little dude
Yep.
who Min Su, that dude who kept surviving by accident.
But here's the thing, and like in hindsight, like the more I think about it, it does kind of make sense because in the first one, the main characters. I mean, I would have to go back and count, but I feel like there was a lot less big characters than the last one. This one, you have half a fucking team, and you kind of knew a little bit about all of them. Some of these guys got to go in a weird way, but that's a testament to like how well they were doing, really kind of like getting you to buy into some of these fucking characters.
Yeah, man. June
It was
20,
good.
June.
I just wish I had it all in one shot. That's all.
There you go. Remember I explained what happened
I know.
there.
I know.
June
I know how you
27th.
feel.
June 27th is the release date for season 3. My wife said, perfect. That's right in between the end of school and the beginning of summer school. We'll have all the time in the world to binge. Just like, yes, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So June 27th, I'm sure we'll have a closing of what's going to be happening there. We're still going to have some more games. We're still going to have some things going down as far as our main character who just lost his best friend in the last episode. That's the one they took. That was the consequence of him playing hero. We'll see how that changes Gi-hung for the foreseeable future. Just a heads up for those of you who did not see it. The guy who plays 456 in Squid Game, before the release of Squid Game Season 2, he was on Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon wanted to ask him some questions about the show, but he said, I have to be very careful. I don't want to spoil anything. And they had an X button and an O button. They played a game where if Jimmy asked a question and he hit the circle button, then it's a yes. If he hit the X button, it's a no. There was a couple yeses, a couple no's, and then one of the questions that Jimmy asked was, will player 456 end up running the games? And he thought about it for a minute, and he hit both. So take that for whatever that means.
I think that was a really good question, but I think and that was a very smart answer, but
Yeah.
I don't think it means anything.
It could mean nothing.
Yeah, I don't think it means anything.
I think that was a nice way to get people talking.
But let's just say really quick, let's entertain it, that he ends up being the guy who's number one right now.
Right.
Do we like that?
Here's the thing: if you're trying to make a good coherent story, no, it doesn't happen.
His whole premise is he wants to end it. Why the fuck would he continue it?
Because the only way that I could see that happening is if something happens.
Oh shit, my bad. I thought it was muted.
That something happens that's so drastic that he begins to believe the front man's theory to be true. Because
so far we're kind of seeing that
he has slipped up. Remember, the front man actually had him reeling when they were discussing the plan on taking the guns.
Oh, he slipped up big time. He literally just let everyone die.
Right. He said, if you follow with this plan, a lot of innocent people are going to die. And his only rationale was, I'm trying to stop the games. Unfortunately, that's going to be a byproduct. He sat there and watched those people be murdered. He's the one guy in the room, besides obviously the front man.
The front runner was so proud to hear that. I know he was.
Because I knew he knew he was closer and closer to his goal of corrupting this guy.
And you sit there and you look at the front runner, like helping him and kill some of the squares and the triangles and shit. But I thought about it. I'm like, I know he can't wait to shoot these motherfuckers. They're taking their masks off. They're leading people to shit. They're not standing their ground. He's like, dude, I bet you he can't wait to fucking smoke these people. And what happened? Soon as he went back to the other side, he started fucking chipping them up. Dude, get them out of here. These guys are fucking sloppy when he's not out there running it.
Yeah, that fucking that main guy, the guy who kind of replaced him momentarily while he was playing the game. He lost complete control of everything that was fucking happening.
Absolutely.
He couldn't even handle the one chick he brought in, number 11.
Yeah.
She was out here sniping motherfuckers.
Yep.
She was
Open the box.
open the box.